Hey, Podcast America, welcome to episode, I think this is 160 of the Enlightened Neanderthals podcast.
Oh, shit.
We're on 60? Hang on.
160. Oh, no. Oh, wait a minute.
Did we just jump a whole year?
The other ones were deleted, actually.
It's
a sad story.
The quantum jump.
We made it to 60? Boys,
60.
pretty soon we're going to be at 100.
Yeah.
A centennial?
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about stamped silver
hold
minted.
the Korean barbecue for the centennial episode.
Well, I think we should do that before.
My people.
That's true. That'll take almost a year.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that Korean barbecue.
I'll talk to my
Barbecue.
people.
We got to get some beetle nut.
Yeah.
I always have a stock of beetle nut on supply. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about my own Training Northwest, which you can find at trainingnorthwestllc.com. There are 3 spots left in the rifleman camp. Get them while they last.
Yeah, buddy.
We've got the Electric North Pantheon of podcasts. Michael?
Danny Leyland, White Belt Mafia.
Spit it out, Jordan. Endless Endeavor with Greg Anderson.
The Patriotic Islander with Will No-Tell, my beetle nut people. Love that boy.
Coffee talks with Christy.
Stones and Bones, the Electric North Shaman, Compassionate Viking podcast
I can't stop giggling.
with our boy Tyler.
Did we hit them all?
Yeah, I think we got them all.
Oh, Jordan.
So, all right. So somehow we started with Gaza and Ukraine, and what we ended up talking about? Conjoined twins or some bullshit like.
Ended up with a little bit.
This
of
is classic, boys.
Yeah.
This is what it is. This is sitting in Kozak Garage and talking about current events through all sorts of topics.
Yeah. I will leave it right there. Buckle your chin strap, bitches.
Yeah.
It already has. All right. Total war versus limited warfare. And the reason I was, so just to back up a little bit. So I was thinking about this because I saw it was like a video online of trench warfare in Ukraine, and a guy was running through a trench immediately after an artillery barrage, and there were bodies that had been, partially entombed in the side of the trench just by like the ongoing artillery and redigging. And it crossed my mind that I don't know that the world has seen total war since the end of World War II. I can't think of an example. So we fought in the GWOT, which was a 20-year limited warfare, meaning that not all of our munitions were on the table. Total warfare means no one is exempt, civilians, and no weapon is off the table. And now, for I think the first time since World War II, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, we're seeing on 2 fronts total warfare, and I'm talking about Ukraine and Gaza, where civilian populations are not being spared. Again, go to Iraq and Afghanistan. A lot of time, the rules of engagement were that we had to be fired upon before we could fire back. Mm-hmm. And we were actively, you couldn't just indiscriminately send artillery into a city or et cetera, and that's exactly what's being done. And
now.
Yeah, exactly. Look at
that's a go-to move.
How do you pronounce it? Was it Bakhmut or whatever, that city that they were fighting in over the winter? And it looked like Stalingrad by the time they were done, just decimated.
Yeah.
And then what did you ask, Mike? You had a question.
I was just saying that seeing so much projectiles and what they call precision weapons.
Yeah.
But
you were asking about Gaza.
Yeah.
And how, what is the threshold of having to have boots on the ground versus just using drones and smart munitions, et cetera, from like a public affairs standpoint? Is that what you were kind of hinting at?
Yeah, well,
I think it was a tactical standpoint.
It's both. It's kind of both, because we talked about this a long time ago when Gaza first started happening, and I said, I think this is going to look really bad because of just the blatant firing upon citizens with artillery and shit like that, you know? And and this is a good point too. You said, well, if you're that fighting force and you're trying to clear and find terrorists, the last thing you want is threats and stuff around you. You want to know that the people around you have your back, and you're going to shock and awe before you make entry or something like that. But I think maybe Israel went a little too hard in the paint with shock and awe.
Yeah.
And now you're getting shock and awe from the people, and you see all these protests. And I mean, didn't they just, how many nations says this needs to stop?
Yeah, and it's a fucked situation no matter how you look at it, because there is nowhere in Gaza that is not built up.
It's Taliban and caves. It's shantytown. It's the favela.
Yeah, it's high rises. It's everywhere you go. Exactly. It's everything from favelas to high rises, but there is no like rural terrain.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, you're going to be impact, and everybody there is trapped. They've got the ocean to the west. They've got,
and they don't have money to
Israel
pick up
to the
and
north
leave.
and east, and Egypt to the south. And even if they did, nobody will let them go
Out
anywhere.
right now. Yeah.
The Egyptians won't let them out. The Israelis won't let them out.
So So Israel's getting a lot of heat on this front. Do you think they would have no one breathing down their back if their whole campaign was infiltrate the area with ground vehicles and troops only?
Yeah, probably not. But they would have they would have.
I mean, that's kicking doors. Iraq and
they would
fucking
have been
Afghanistan
massacred to go into fighting in a built-up area like that. The battlefield becomes three-dimensional because you have elevation now, tall buildings, and there's no way. Like, you just don't have the volume of troops, the sheer numbers to secure them all as you move forward.
Yeah.
And to clear them all is exhausting. To clear a building is a fucking smoke fest. And so the idea that you're just going to clear Gaza by going room by room, your entire army would end up dead.
But then the other alternative is shelling it.
I know. And so that's what I'm saying. There is no good situation here. We could might be like a fun exercise to try to go from like both standpoints. What would you do? Because I think Israel's best option would have been, or I should say maybe their biggest mistake, is that they stalled out. They once they committed to this whole, like, this total warfare, basically, they should have just gone to the finish line and then stopped. But they've sort of bogged down now, amongst international pressure and whatnot. And now they've got this really shitty situation, which is that they didn't finish the job, and they're also in trouble internationally. So they've got the worst of both of it. They should have either. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they kicked the beehive, which is only going to create.
Don't you feel like it's like a fighting the Afghanistan? That's kind of an unwinnable war. How long has this been going on between this little area? Like, what, since the 50s?
Except that in this case, everybody is sequestered into a very small area.
But that's,
so again, if you're, I'm not saying they should go in and flatten Gaza. I think there is no good. I don't think there's a good.
That's Hannibal going there.
But in this case, because Gaza is such a small and easily confined area, they could very well have just flattened the whole damn thing, and they could have wiped Hamas out. Now,
but that's war
they've missed
crimes,
their opportunity.
Though.
I know.
That's war crimes.
So,
you can't operate.
There's no such thing as war without war crimes. Let me tell you, buddy.
Yeah, but god damn it, that's a lot of citizen deaths. Yeah. Like, just
once you cross that threshold of sending indirect and direct fire support in there, well, then you know what I mean. You've already made that decision.
And it's weird how they're not letting people out.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it because they feel there's terrorist tie? Ooh, did you hear about our terrorist tie locally at the
Electric North?
Yeah, dude.
It's Daniel, isn't it?
yeah, you got it.
Finally got him.
Yeah.
No.
He's Khabib Nurmagomedov's long-lost cousin.
Checks out.
The Dagestani dagger, dude. Yeah.
That beard.
This last weekend, I guess the Israeli special forces did a raid in Gaza, and they got a bunch of people out. And one of the girls they found was working as a maid for some rich person. And that rich person used to be a reporter. I might fuck this up. Don't quote me. Al Jazeera News?
Al
maybe?
Jazeera.
Al Jazeera News, maybe, but I'm not sure. But anyways.
This is outstanding reporting.
Yes. I forget what his connection to what that newspaper was, but it was a big one like that.
Okay.
And so they did a background check on this guy, and he's funneling tons of money to Hamas fighters.
Oh,
and they
yes.
found his newspaper correlated, and he was drawing donations.
It's a 501c3 here in Washington State.
In Mount Lake Terrace,
yes,
Palestinian Free Press or whatever it was.
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but now that you say that, I do remember that.
So it's like, ooh, this last week, I bet you the FBI's been heavy.
I
up
bet
in
not.
here.
The FBI is too worried about
Trump.
angry parents going to school board meetings, me making Training
dicks
Northwest. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit. Yeah, but we got a connection to the...
To the Palestinian movement. Yeah, well, it seems to be epicentered at University of Washington.
know what'd be cool? Maybe it's not cool, but you know how Mormons like show up on a bike and try and recruit you?
Show up in Gaza.
Bring, bring. Or have like a suicide bomber try and recruit you.
Imagine showing up in all the rubble. You know how they offer to do chores? You guys have any chores need to be done? Like, you can start picking that rubble up.
Yeah, here's a broom.
Yeah.
It's horrible though, but that's war. And you said it kind of earlier in that text. It's like, dude, we got a front. I mean, if China really pops off, so does Iran, so does North Korea, so does everything else.
I think it's highly likely China will invade Taiwan.
Yeah.
very
So
soon.
then we have a Pacific, a European, and a Middle Eastern front.
Yeah.
That's 3 theaters of war for like a big thing. And when I bet you other people kind of start jumping on board too.
Yeah. Do you think? I think China will use limited warfare in Taiwan. I don't think they'll be launching cruise missiles into city centers. I think it will be very surgical.
Try and just do them. But then that's like my Gaza thing, like do a mass occupation of people, of force.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There will be an occupation. See, I don't know.
You mean that more so than like
I think-
bomb the shit out of it and level it? You mean
I think
fighting, but
surgical
then,
strikes against military targets to try to minimize civilian casualties, followed by
never worked.
occupation.
That's
because
never
they want
worked,
they want the infrastructure.
But they say Gaza surgical strikes. They're not. Dude. No war is. No war is not. You're sending bombs into cities.
Limited war is.
No, you have the capability to fly a cruise missile through a fucking window.
Yeah, but then it's a cruise missile going off.
Right, but you can send that into a military building.
But there's always
Allegedly.
bad intel. And there's
Yeah, that's-
bad.
oh,
There's
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
It never.
There
war
is
is
bad
just
targeting.
not pretty.
Yes, and
There's
it misses
always
and it hits.
yeah. And even
wrong
if you're
targets.
99%,
But what's going on in Ukraine and Israel's, they're just like, fuck it, send the artillery barrage.
I'm not even aiming. I'm just hitting this
Exactly.
button.
That's-
That's
yeah, exactly. That's what
We're
I'm
playing
saying.
asteroid
Lower it again.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, like, I was trying to find the map of it, but like Gaza's like,
It's just a little tiny piece
a
down there at the
sliver.
south end of Israel.
well, it's literally like, you know,
It's like half of Snohomish County. It's
well,
7 miles wide, I think, or
it's
5
like
miles
it's like
wide or
Bellevue
something
versus
like that.
Seattle.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
That could be a fun exercise. Did you say Bellevue for life?
East side.
Oh shit! Are those mountains blue?
Those mountains are blue.
extremely blue.
Yeah.
Some might say aqua.
Yeah. It's so crazy to have
Yeah, but
two
remember,
complete different conflicts going on. Like,
we're about to have 3, brother.
dude, I know. It just seems so wild that everybody just kind of like chomping at the bit for war. And then I know that like this isn't it, right? But coming from America, where war is a all about economic growth, really. You kind of wonder if other countries, now that the petrodollar on Sunday was, or like the,
It was on the 9th,
was it the 9th?
June 9th.
Yeah, that they did away with it. So I'm wondering.
And for those of you guys listening that wondering what he's talking about, the United States had a 50-year contract with Saudi Arabia to use the United States dollar for all oil transactions that expired on June 9th. And the Saudis announced, I don't know, 3 weeks ago that they would no longer be using the U.S. dollar for oil transactions, which
Are they going?
it's going to have a hell of an effect. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to start accepting the yen.
Yeah.
And right now, the yen, I think, accounts for like less than 5% of all global transactions, and the US dollar accounts for like 70 something or 60 something percent.
Give
Do
it
you
a
want-
year.
So it's going to be kind of tough, but if you don't start seeing a change in that, it's going to be.
Do you want? So this is the conspiracy theory no one talks about, but Mike thinks it because Mike lives in Mike world, and I think culture, entertainment, things like that are so important to having masses. Saudi Arabia bought golf, bought boxing. They're bidding for every fucking sport, and they're taking it over. I think what Saudi Arabia is seeing is the United States demising and China being the one to go with. I see this Saudi Arabia move as like on the stock market, like this can confirm, this isn't being traded anymore. But the thing that's not being put on is the emphasis of culture and entertainment and stuff. And I think that this whole expiration of this and their moves for sports teams and entertainment in Saudi Arabia is very interesting for like an indication of alliance.
With the U.S.?
You're saying
No,
that,
with China.
how does the sports teams factor into alignment with China?
They have so many people, but tell me about the golf out of China. Tell me about the baseball. You have all kinds of people that practice it because it's Western and it's culture, but all of those things are owned by the United States. Saudi Arabia is buying boxing. They bought one of the biggest boxing leagues. They bought out like the PGA. Is that the golf one?
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Saudi Arabia is buying all of this, and they're getting away from American money, and they're taking the American.
They're taking our entertainment with them. Okay.
So if you're pairing with China, someone that has billions of people, way more than America's, and a ton of money, it's like you're seeing Saudi Arabia really invest. It's not we're putting some dollars in to make money. It's like we're investing culture, we're investing sports. We're believing that the empire of the United States may be starting to be on demise. Let's make money and get new relations with the China. Someone that's not going to hold us under their thumb as much.
It's like you said, though, like the U.S.'s biggest export is their culture.
Culture.
We have movies, we have music, we have all this different stuff that kind of blows up around the world. And
Do you think the dollar was our biggest export? Because up until June 9th...
But your dollar's only as rich as the people that make it.
Or
right?
if you have
if
dollar,
Kazakhstan started having geniuses and crazy influencers and it just blew up, their monetary value would gain. Their dollar would gain because they're selling more, they're creating more, they become a cultural hub too if you're doing all that. Who you are as the citizens make up what the culture is.
Yeah, well, we have a history in the last 100 years of these sort of like bullyish tactics and almost like predatory contracts that we sort of force other countries to sign these contracts with us in exchange for military protection, like the Saudi 50-year deal to use the U.S. dollar for oil. And that is what put us in a predominant position economically for all those years.
Yeah.
And now I've said this before on this show, is that all these other countries are kind of tired of being bullied. And they're tired of being sanctioned, and they're tired of these contracts that force them to use the U.S. dollar at a disadvantage. And now there's a new player on the block, and everybody's kind of like, "Fuck you guys. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try these guys because they're not cramming it down our throat. They probably will eventually."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Not only a new player, but someone that's invested it. Not only is China smart, but they are making the things that are smart.
Yeah.
We are riding on the
Yes.
coattails of that last 100 years before.
That's true. And
That's
we're not-
why America has a huge dominance,
Right.
and I'm going to take over because we don't have those people leading us that made us great
And
in the
our
past.
fatal mistake is that these countries that we coerced into these contracts with, we did not improve their quality of life.
No.
China, again, love them or hate them. If all reports out of Africa is that they're building infrastructure like crazy. So
Mexico, Africa, South America.
Yeah, Mexico too. So if you're a person in those countries and you're looking around, you're like, oh shit, well these people are actually investing in my homeland, as opposed to just expecting us to mine lithium out of a pit in the ground at slave labor wages, or not even wages, just force with slave labor.
Yeah.
Don't we in the U.S. have like some of the biggest oil deposits?
Yeah, I'm sure. We just found in like,
I think Alaska has like one of the biggest, and then
but we found a
natural gas
multi-billion.
taps.
There's some guy, some billionaire, bought a bunch of property, and he's like, I'm going to mine it. And they're like, this property's been mined for years. There's nothing here. He's like, I don't care. I'll buy it. This billionaire bought it for pennies on the dollar. Is it Carolina or one of the Virginias? But it's supposed to be one of the biggest rare mineral like deposits ever found.
No shit.
And it's in our backyard. America is full of rich resources, I'm sure.
I think it was just I don't know if it was slip. I think it was actually slipped, because I heard the audio that the part of Ukraine where most of the fighting has been happening, that sort of north, I think it's like the northeastern border area, is also very rich in minerals. Which suddenly makes a lot of sense.
Oh, all those areas are. But think of also like Graham Hancock style, like the old areas, like all these Russia, North America areas that were being pushed with ice. They were the last places to melt, right? So that means they were the heaviest pushed and loaded up. You're having so much pressure put on those areas, plus you're having tectonic plates build areas like Washington's 13 million years, where Idaho and Montana go into 6,500 million years. I think these areas are also like...
You're saying it's getting churned up from below.
We're just so rich in resources, we just haven't tapped them all yet. We haven't found it.
Yeah.
Like, as these things melt, I mean, drill baby drill maybe is a good thing from Trump. Yeah. But it's like, you hear
the
about
United States
Pebble
was a
Mine.
net exporter of energy in 2019.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah. That's also why the dollar was better. Yeah. But it's like, I want that. I think there can be, as we get smarter and more efficient and know how to properly use the things we have in the earth and do it in a good way, it's like, I think that puts us on a better trajectory for success for tomorrow. But the thing I don't like is like, Pebble Mine. You know what Pebble Mine is in Alaska? No. You'll see car stickers that say no Pebble Mine, but it's just like one of these last natural areas in Alaska. It's a bay that's pristine, and they want to do a mining operation in Pebble Bay. And the way that you think of mining, and you think of a guy in a pickaxe, or the dad from
they just
Zoolander,
dig down from above and scrape the whole top off.
That's what you think of. Yeah. But what they do is they put a bunch of acids and leach the ore out of the rock, and it poisons the earth. That's how you mine today.
Yeah, I'm not down with that either.
Yeah, so it's like, I get both sides of it.
Whatever happened to fucking pickaxe?
That's right. Zoolander's dad. Yeah.
Got the black
Everybody's working for the weekend.
Dude, he puts all that coal dust on his face and then jumps out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What do you think would happen if we completely if every country in the world just shut down their borders? Just said,
great thought.
Just said, you know what? We're everybody for the next 4 years.
That's pretty brave from a guy who just showed up with some tortilla chips and queso dip.
Those borders weren't shut. Yeah. They were open. And you're grateful for that.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I like it.
Look.
I think that's a
we can make our own. We could make our own.
Be made out of fucking Velveeta. It'd be the 7-Eleven version.
Oh, are you kidding me? Everything we do in America is better.
Ugh.
I got to take on this.
That's all there is to it.
Of course I got to take on this. Yeah, but I got to take on this. I think in certain ways the borders are great. Like, you see what's happening in Mexico.
Hold on. Let me set up what I was trying to.
Oh, yeah, go.
Yeah,
so,
I cut Jordan off.
if we shut down all the borders for like 4 years,
Oh, so people couldn't cross?
so people couldn't
No one-
cross.
yeah,
But we
okay.
also weren't trading. We weren't. It was just you rely on you.
Oh, man.
What countries do you think would start to? I mean, obviously, it would take longer than that. Let's call it 10 years, 15 years.
Small countries.
What countries do you not think the U.S. would be? Because I think
we're pretty rich in resources.
I think we
We're
have-
rich in resources, but
Yep.
not in the labor and the amount of people
You
to
don't think-
sustain how much stuff comes in from other areas. There
You
will
don't-
be a huge die-off. You want small countries that are self-sufficient.
dude.
Like
we
the
have
Amish.
such a small.
But we're not built for it. We send everything away.
I think
in
it
10
could come
years-
back real fast.
Yeah, and 10,
When you're forced to, yes. But
That's what I'm
that first
saying.
5 years
be
is
rough.
going to be...
Yeah.
but we also have the density of the U.S. is way less than other countries. Way fucking less.
Depends on the country, though. Kazakhstan?
I think we're probably right in there.
Well, I guess if you're talking about, full land mass and
Yeah.
population,
Yeah, because look at all of the resources that we have and the ability to do things. Like we'd be killing it. I think. I mean, except the whole like figuring out how to get the oil from
that's
Alaska.
Oil, so much job training.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it though,
No.
Yeah.
dude?
Are you kidding me? To train a couple of roughnecks, what you need is work.
They're already
ethic.
here, dude.
Yeah,
You know how many blue...
What
how-
we're missing right now is work ethic, and work ethic
That's what I
comes
mean.
with starvation.
Yeah.
Well, true.
Yeah.
All those blue-hairs are going to be blue overalled farmers.
That queso was good though.
America.
Yeah. These fuckers need to starve.
It was invented
I
here.
mean, I was
right?
going to suggest Mexican food after we're done recording here.
No, I think that if we were to rely on ourselves, because of, I mean, the fact that we're not drilling for the oil that we could be drilling for, or, you know, whatever way they're talking about mining what were you talking about with the chemical mining?
Pebble mine up in Alaska. Instead of like digging down, they actually...
Oh, what is this?
Is this Mexican
Is
food?
this more Mexican food?
You might have...
Are these little mini tacos?
Oh
Or
my
a
gosh.
quesadilla? Thank
thank
you.
you.
Oh,
baby.
thank you.
Is it time for a break?
Oh, is that chimichurri, dude?
Is that chimichurri?
Oh, get ready to bust.
Hang on.
It's the last we
Let's
have.
just give this a little
Just dip it in the
sampler.
greens.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That chimichurri is amazing.
That chimichurri is unreal. And that's like 3-day-old chimichurri.
You guys need to get some on this.
No, we know.
Tell me, take a bite of that and tell me about closing the borders.
This was made in America.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? No, I think if that was like what we did and just was like rely on yourself I think that there could be some positive changes that came from that. And I think there would also be other countries that would absolutely fucking struggle.
I think we're that country that struggles, though.
Dude, there's so many
I
countries
think,
that would
yeah,
struggle.
but like, remember...
You think Mexico's going to be doing very hot?
No.
Yeah, better.
Fuck no.
Because
There's
they
no-
live more in that
Yeah.
life. We live so lavish.
So what?
We're so disconnected to the process of making it. More things you get in this world probably say made in Mexico than they do made in America.
I think we're still really good at getting things up and running. Like, you could have pole barn factories slapped together so fast, and CNC machines, and I think you could bring, if you were forced to, if you had your back against the wall, I think you could bring manufacturing back really quickly.
Don't you think we import lumber, though, here?
No, well, dude, we're in Washington State. We don't.
Yeah,
one of our
no.
biggest industries is timber here.
Yes, here. But I guarantee you the United States
you know how much lumber we
imports
send?
lumber.
You know,
Yeah, we export lumber.
We do, but I guarantee you we import things, too.
dude, I don't think you're correct in that assumption.
Or even if you are, we don't need to import lumber.
I think
Yeah,
that
true.
We got all the
I
fucking
think
lumber we need.
the thought of what the problem is with America is that we end up going, I want more for less.
Yes,
I'm not
we're
willing-
addicted to cheap goods, is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not willing to spend, a lot of money on one pair of boots and then take care of those boots. And then when those boots are fucked, take them to a cobbler. That's not how America works. There's a lot of other countries that is how it works because they're like, oh, I'm going to use those boots.
If you're lucky enough to have some boots.
Yeah, and then you know what I'm going to do after that? The tire that was on that truck that's all worn out isn't going to be the new fucking sole. Like, there's innovation that can happen in the U.S. and like when people
it can happen, but that small country where that cobbler already exists,
you think that
they're going to do fine?
You think
because they have the personnel for that.
Places like Vietnam that are
they're not going to grow.
A large part of the population is used to living subsistence life. I think because we have such a large landmass that is diverse in its biome, basically. Like we have all these different.
We have every
exactly. We have forest, desert, and everything in between. We could thrive with a closed border. It would take a few years to get there. Other like Vietnam is all rainforest. They're not going to thrive with a closed border. They're going to be back to simple sort of subsistence type life.
I think that culturally we would probably go through a larger change than a third world country, right? Like if you shut down their borders, it wouldn't be. They'd be like, "What the fuck do you mean? I'm not crossing the border anyway."
You mean I don't have a bunch of American tourists showing up going like, "Do you speak English?
Yeah.
I would like pad thai with chicken."
Yep.
Right?
So pigeon.
Yeah, but that I mean, if you took that perspective of like, we would go through a large cultural shift, but I think at the end of it, we would come out better. Is what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, I think
we come out stronger. I think
you would come out stronger, and I think we would come out with more innovation, and we'd be relying on ourselves. And when is that a bad thing?
Never.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Emphasis on you,
and I think it would strengthen everybody. I think it would the reality of I don't need the newest pair of Nikes because fucking Nikes aren't really being produced right now, or they'd go, oh, I love Nikes. Nikes are still being produced.
Well, hang on.
But guess what? You get one a fucking year.
I was just going to say, if suddenly you can't just buy cheap shit all the time, you might not want nylon tennis shoes. You might be looking at a pair of cowhide boots and going like, yeah, I want some of those Thorogoods or some of those Red Wings.
Yeah.
Just fuck these Nikes. You get one little scrape down the side and they're toast.
Yeah, and I think the practicality of that. So yes, there's this lavish life that we live in the U.S., but if needed, I think it would not take very long for people to realize like this is not what we're doing anymore, because those cheap goods are now going to be very expensive, and then you're going to have to put into perspective what is important in my life and what do I need. I think that the U.S. would be able to create oil. I think maybe refineries would be tough, creating metal and all that. That might be a rough thing for the U.S.
Steel was part of our industrial base when the Industrial Revolution started. We have all the smelters on the East Coast. We have right here in Washington State, there's fucking 4 refineries in Northwest Washington State for oil. There's an aluminum smelting plant up north in Ferndale. There's another one in Wenatchee. We have the infrastructure. It's just closing down because it's so expensive to use it because our labor is more expensive. So it's cheaper to import it from other countries.
It's expensive, but then you lose that skill of the general people.
Dude,
I'm not saying it's not going to turn out good.
Don't kid yourself that those motherfuckers were geniuses. The guy standing around melting fucking metal.
I'm saying he's most important. That guy's most important.
But he wasn't a fucking genius. And that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
fine, but he knows how to do that.
Yeah, but
you don't think
a motherfucker could figure that out?
No, you want more of that.
That's the kind of mind that would rise from fucking what you think is fucking trash, and the genius that we have here that
it's suppressed. It's being suppressed by video games and fucking
constantly.
Smartphones.
You don't think those motherfuckers would just come up and go, I could figure out how to do that? Or they go,
someone figured out a steel mill from scrap, from nothing.
Yeah. I'm
which
not
means
arguing
it can
with
be
that.
resurrected. And the people that we think of as being
America's
too lazy and weak to have work ethic, they're 3 missed meals away from grabbing their work boots and getting after it.
Kind of, but if you look at what makes the United States the most money, the first two things are infrastructure, which means bureaucracy, government,
That does not make money.
paying jobs. No, but that's our biggest in the United States. Our biggest economic driver.
Your biggest employer is the government.
Yes.
That's a fucking problem. That's one of the reasons we are in decline.
Yes. So that's number one. Number two, medical.
Yes.
Those are not creating any hard goods. Those are two
Services.
things that are reliant on a system of other people doing it. I agree with you guys. This would make probably people better, but the amount of people that will be lost in that process.
That's okay.
I think yes.
We could use a few less bureaucrats walking around.
But the United States could not handle that. If it went to shutting down borders and now you're seeing giant changes in jobs. You're seeing giant changes in goals where you're getting food.
When you say the U.S. can't handle that, what do you mean? You think the country
so many people
collapses?
are reliant on the softness and of the bubble that, yes, those people that smelt the ore and make metal, the most important people,
yes.
that actually doing of things. Yes, medicine's still important. You want people to treat infections.
But it's not, hang on. So
but it's not a driving force.
Literally just listening to statistics on the medical industry on my way here.
Fucking loser, dude.
He'll get laid one day, even though he has kids. Yeah, he'll get laid.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. The U.S. oil industry, or sorry.
Talk to me about EpiPens.
Yeah. Hospitals are the number 2 industry in the U.S. Yes. Hospitals, not necessarily healthcare, the running of the hospital itself. So it's not the doctors that are getting rich.
It's part of the system, though. It's that whole system.
Yeah.
That's why hospitals are there. Yeah.
So what would
But first is government.
Do you think that would change?
It's 3 times the size of oil.
Yeah.
Do you think
and big oil's the problem?
That's fucking crazy.
But do you think that would change if all of a sudden people weren't necessarily reliant on the amount of bullshit farming in the I think you would see farms come more localized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you would go, hey, what's cheaper? Is it cheaper
to shorten the supply chain?
Yes. It's cheaper to grow it closer than to ship it in this time where things would get a little wackadoo. So with that, I think you'd see health increase because of what people would be putting into their fucking bodies. So you wouldn't need as much of the hospital issue. I think you'd see a lot of
a lot of the hospital issue is them learning how to suck money out of the system. Like, you think about again how many Americans are on multiple prescription drugs.
Yeah,
because in order for both the
Mine are
pharmaceutical
all
industry and the hospital industry to continue making profit, it's the model is like, how do we get people in our like how? I was listening to it was Patrick Bet Davis. And he's talking about what is the business model for a hotel? We want all our rooms full every single night, right? How is that different in a hospital?
Yeah.
So how do you keep hospital beds full?
keep people sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's
and
like
how do you keep pharmaceuticals moving?
Yeah, well, look at that video
Keep
Jordan
people
just
sick,
showed.
right?
And that lady went to the doctor. Instead of the doctor being like, you got to stop putting that much food in your mouth, he goes, we're giving you a weight loss drug. It's just a revolving
now your
door.
Your bones are going to dissolve
It's
so
just-
that you can become
Yeah, but I look
less
good.
heavy. Yeah.
Have you seen me in these leather pants?
Ew.
Look awesome. Dude, I'd take Ozempic body for a little bit. You know what I think the best body is?
Swimmers.
No.
Hang on. I'm thinking about this. Figure skaters. Male figure skater. Let me show
I mean, that's pretty good. But
Male body.
yeah,
we're talking men or women?
not
men or women?
not women, only men.
Men. Okay. Sexiest?
Now we're talking.
Best
Like-
body.
Let me think about this.
You don't even know where I'm coming from.
Oh, I doubt.
Hang on,
I
hang
know
on.
where you're coming from, dude. But I know you're coming.
Yeah. I think
Jiu-jitsu athletes?
no,
Absolutely not.
I'm surrounded by them. I'm sick of them. Yeah. Everyone in jiu-jitsu has like traps. You ever notice that? Everyone's shoulders are up by their ears.
Really?
That's because they're so sore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's just because their neck is stuck. That has nothing to do with strength.
Okay, let's hear the
All
gay
right,
thing you're about to tell me.
Best
Is it
body?
Marines on Peleliu?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
hard
sec-
body boys.
I think like Iggy Pop, like recovered heroin
Oh,
addict.
no.
Like,
What the
dude,
fuck?
Gross,
they
dude.
eat ice
You're into some
cream
weird
and
shit.
sugar
Like, I can
every
accept that
day.
you're fucking
no,
gay,
but they,
but Iggy Pop.
but like, dude, you eat ice cream
leather
every day.
fucking-
You're skin and bones. You can't put on fat.
That heroin
You're
physique.
still like
Yeah.
muscly.
It's cocaine and heroin.
Sinewy.
Yeah, cocaine and heroin.
Post heroin body.
Dude,
They're always
get
ripped,
out of here.
and they
Get
don't
outta here.
age because
Iggy Pop and Keith Richards.
Yeah.
They've looked 1,000 years old for the
no,
last
Keith
100
Richards
years.
is bad.
You're talking about like 3 of those guys, right? Like they're
Mick
not
Jagger.
all like that.
Yeah.
They're not all like that.
Most of them, they're all super skinny. They're all ripped. It's like
That was
And
all. That
here's
was all,
the
and
thing,
that was
though.
all the '80s hair bands guys too. But again,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fucking
Post-heroin.
cocaine and heroin.
yeah, that's what I mean. But here's the thing: you look so bad early, and then like you get clean, and you never age because
I don't think Iggy Pop's look. He looks like a fucking aged shoe, is what he looks
Dude,
like.
He's a little
yeah,
leathery.
Yeah, it looks like a
dude.
piece of beef jerky.
But how old is he? 11
Yeah, take
right
him to
now.
the cops. Yeah, no,
so
he's
for
like
that
400.
age,
Take
he
that
looks
motherfucker.
amazing. And a
they
90-year-old.
should be doing studies on him and Keith Richards.
Yeah,
Dude, you see him
Can
limping
you-
around.
yes.
What was that? He just did a fucking.
He did a
performance.
show.
Yeah,
Shut up.
dude. He just the other day, and he's like, his body's all contorted, like he just been doing jiu-jitsu, and he's like limping over, and he's like still with no shirt on, and just like,
Let it
what
go,
the
buddy."
fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
but he looks good for 90-11.
dude, I don't know.
Yeah, post heroin.
We'll be right back.
It
after the break.
ferments your body and then it preserves it.
Oh my god.
I don't know, bro. That's I appreciate that to a certain degree, but
Okay,
I
I'll
was
say
not
this.
expecting that at all. I was
right,
like
I
long
told
distance runners,
No,
you know.
fuck that, dude. Chuck Liddell in leather pants, 20 years post career, or Iggy Pop body, leather pants, wears them every. I think he
Well, hang
sleeps
on.
in
What's
them.
what's Chuck Liddell looking like these days? Because he was never
That's
like
what I
super
mean.
jacked when he was in fighting shape.
Yeah, he's still
He was one of those guys that had
He
a little.
wasn't
He wasn't
bad.
bad.
No,
He's
but he wasn't like shredded. So
That's true.
him out of fighting shape, he could be pretty chunky.
okay. Arnold. Arnold was the
Schwarzenegger?
Dude,
mo- yeah.
you can't
Most
you can't
ripped
take
dude
it.
ever.
You can't take that. You can't put that much muscle on, and then like when you quit.
Put leather pants on.
Oh well, just all those guys when they quit. Doing,
Yeah,
like,
you get
the bodybuilding.
Lou
it's just
Ferrigno
like-
They
looks
do
good,
kind
though.
of go like, but he's probably staying in shape. Some of those guys go full like, fuck it, I'm done, and then
Yeah.
they look like,
Yeah.
Well, it's so much mass to keep maintained that it's like good luck, dude. Good luck.
yeah.
Yeah,
Arnold-
right.
I worked with a guy overseas who had played offensive line in the NFL, and he was like 6'7".
Jesus.
But then you would never have known it to look at. Like I was surprised when I found out because he was really like thin and wiry.
Was he a receiver?
No, he was an offensive lineman, and he had played at like 300, 310 or 315. He was an offensive tackle.
Jesus.
And he was talking about it. He's like, no, man, it's a full-time job to keep that size on. So they look for guys who are tall and fast because they know the science of building the size. So if you're tall and fast, then they'll build the size onto you and make you one of these crazy fast offensive linemen.
Dude,
But
that
it's
one guy
terrible.
just ran like a fucking 4.5 at 6 something, 350 pounds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
Yeah. But it's horrible for your heart because you're putting all that stress on your cardiovascular system. So as soon as all those guys retire, they immediately go on to programs to slim back down to like a natural weight.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, I think you start like you said. I think the hardest thing to do with your body is to gain weight, to truly put mass.
It's the
on.
hardest thing on your body.
So to have guys, well, and when I say gain weight, I mean gain weight like that, right?
Either way, though, it's a lot of extra. You have to create more blood, and you have to pump more blood further. It's taxing everything. And to do it quickly
Push more
puts so
oxygen.
much stress on your heart, whereas slowly building it, your body builds up and your heart gains strength. But yeah, it's still, no matter what, that's the hardest. I mean, that's why obese people are like
Dying.
yeah, their body is.
I thought that medically this was fun. This is the new beautiful.
Well, Cheerios,
Dude.
or no,
You see
Fruit Loops.
the Miss Alabama?
Oh no.
She retired.
Oh my God! What's that? Is she retarded? Is that what you
Didn't
said?
they have?
Yes, she is.
Or no, Sports Illustrated had
Had a Down syndrome chick or something like that.
yeah,
On the swimsuit issue?
yeah.
I think so.
Oh, boy.
No, she's got to be
Definitely a
pushing
one.
350 pounds.
Miss Alabama?
Yeah, and she was standing up there. Oh,
Like
man.
that sweet tea.
She
Oh,
rolls in one of those hover chairs.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what the fuck?
Miss Diabetes.
My talent is standing up.
It's just crazy to me. It's like the one place where you're like objectively like criticizing, like, well, these bitches.
Everyone's winning participation.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
That's true. The participation trophy has made it to the professional level now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's fat chicks on Sports Illustrated. You know, it's just deterioration.
goddamn shame.
You
Maybe
know,
we need to build that wall, man,
hang on.
around the entire
Around
border.
the KFC.
Speaking of ladies, did you see in the news? It's been all over. That conjoined twin girl got married. I've been meaning to bring this
Hang
up
on.
for a while.
Okay. I need to know specifics. Like 2 heads,
2 heads, 1 body.
Yeah.
1 vagina,
Yeah.
Yep.
2 brains,
Yeah.
Yep.
and separate personalities.
One
Yes.
shares one side,
As
the other
separate as you can
controls
get.
the other side.
Okay.
They're school teachers.
Who, when
Blonde.
when one is having,
Blonde
are
hairs.
they?
Here's the thing.
Who
Yeah.
feels the body? Do they both have
Both-
nerve
I think
connections
they
to
Yeah.
the body?
Yeah.
control arms and
One
shit.
controls one side, one controls the other. They
Are you
got
fucking
married
serious?
to
So,
a
like-
guy.
So
Yeah.
like one chick could be giving this dude a hand job, the other one's like trying to pull the eject handle.
Yeah. But that's, No, what about giving head?
Oh, well, that's awkward.
Getting
I'm trying to read here.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, yeah,
he has needs.
exactly.
Yeah.
And even
Does that
so,
thing have to be right in my face?
I've seen this all over the news, and it's like my brain's flooded with all these questions. I'm like, how does it work? But then I started thinking, it's like,
And what about this dude? Like, what's
dude,
he into?
even more of a
Yeah, that
freak.
more of a question is,
Yeah.
I want to know about the man who's
That
into this shit.
degenerate
Yeah.
motherfucker.
And does he ignore one head when he's banging?
He can't be. He can't be.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
Paperback.
It's a little 3-way situation going
Get
on
outta
there.
here.
Yeah, like a way and a half.
It's like a
He's
3-way.
got-
Weirdest three-way.
Did you hear about the?
What if
the
they're into
bo-
different
the
shit?
guys?
Like, hang on. What
The
if one
guys?
likes anal and the other doesn't?
What? Tough.
Depends who controls the D-hole.
Yeah.
But that's what
It's
I
up
mean.
for a
That's-
vote.
That's crazy, though. And they got married.
It's never going to be a split decision, dude.
Just think about the logistics of living with a conjoined twin. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I need to take a shit. Sorry, I'm busy right now.
Nah, I feel like you both would have to poo.
Probably.
Well, one, I
crosses
think
all
there was
barriers.
something where one of them like has the stomach,
That's what I'm saying.
and one of them like there was some weird.
Do they both feel the urge to go? Like, hey, I got to shit
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And the other
yeah.
one's like, no, not right now. I don't feel anything.
Well, we're right-handed, and you got the right hand,
Yeah,
so
no shit.
you're going to be dealing with it.
Wouldn't that suck, though? Like,
We
if
are right-handed.
Yeah, we are right-handed.
But
and
if
that's-
one
and
gets-
it's over to your fucking right.
If one gets the vagina and the only gets
Well, hang
the
on, what if-
asshole, one only gets to feel shitting and the other one gets to feel pleasure, and you know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. I've taken some pretty nice shits. Look,
That's a crazy thing to be like.
you hear about the conjoined boys?
No.
Yeah, and one of them's gay.
Shut up.
I'm just
Oh,
joking.
it's just, no way.
Could you
Oh,
imagine being
no.
a Siamese twin and having a gay brother?
Oh, man.
How shitty would that be, huh?
It's worse than when Jordan tries to clean in bed with me.
Every time
Wait, what?
Derek picks where we go, it sucks.
Dude.
Yeah. But that's your bro, though. And it's what he's into. And you would be so. Did you ever see that movie with.
I saw a meme where there was two conjoined brothers, and one of them was kissing some dude, and the other one was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
He's just like,
What was that movie?
Son of a bitch.
It had Matt Damon.
Do you think they can feel each other's faces?
Oh, like the
two heads?
You would imagine there's probably some sort of a.
They all say they're all very emotionally in tune with the other person.
I wonder
But
if they
it's
have
like,
just
yeah,
like similar senses of humor. Like, does the same shit make them laugh?
You've done everything together.
Yeah.
like every
yeah,
experience you've had together.
dude,
Maybe from a slightly different angle.
it would suck. It was different angle. It would suck if you were completely different personalities. Like one person's like
Okay.
a lawyer.
The other one's straight.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, no, but the other one's like one's a lawyer.
One's a hippie, one's a...
Yeah, and they're doing trial, and the other one's like a nun, a horse, and a drunk walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it, we couldn't be more different.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. What? You can't.
Stop it, my vagina will feel it.
Dude.
Our vagina, Mike. Our vagina.
One's got the booty. That's the craziest thing in my head. Is if one only felt poop and the other one felt pee.
You're like really fixated over here.
Dude, it's great. But I have all these questions, and these articles are so clickbaity. It's like, you want to know the real truth? It's like, yeah, let's hear it. And then it's like, they want to live a happy life. And it's like,
No shit.
but who controls the poo?
Yeah.
Who pees?
We want to know details.
I want the
goddamn.
hard-hitting facts. I'm like the Walter Cronkite of these double dragons.
Can they... Well, double dragon, yeah.
But I can't stop reading articles about it.
Well, so
Do they,
what?
well, do you think they... Hang on, yeah. Do you,
Yeah, we all got questions. It sounds like.
so can they both speak? Do they both have...
they're
a trach-
teachers.
You haven't seen these ladies?
Well, does the trachea fork so that they both have
It
access
must,
to
yeah,
the lungs?
they share a windpipe. They must.
And I wonder if they both have an
you
esophagus. Can they both
breathe
eat?
in
Can
sync?
only
Yeah.
one head eat?
No, they can eat.
So then the esophagus has a Y in it, and so
Yeah.
does their trachea. That's fucking crazy.
Dude, they're nuts.
Yeah, they're kind
It'd
of
be
like almost turned into each other a little bit.
So hang on, if one head chokes,
You're
can
good.
can the other one, like, it's fine, it can just stay lodged forever, and the other head will feed the body?
Dude,
would
CPR's a
imagine.
bitch. I'll get this one. You get
I'm
the
fine, goddammit!
No,
Stop!
not me.
We have to blow in both
You
of
need the
your mouths.
Heimlich!
Yeah.
I do not!
Yeah, but exactly. There's so many questions I have about these twins.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we were the first people to ever get them on the podcast?
Come on, sit down.
So, which one of you got the butthole? Excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm a teacher.
we're leaving.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The husband chimes up. Easy, we got some questions for you, freak.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
He's just.
That's
out there.
crazy, though. Yeah, to be married to that. That's a commit. I
That's-
mean, it's like every couple has to be like, oh, I mean, no matter what, relationships take work, but it's like, hey, there's another head on your shoulder, all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I can look past some shit.
When we're having an argument, could you tell your cunt sister to shut the fuck up?
Always chiming in on your side.
Yeah, I know you can hear me right now, Susan, because you're right fucking here in the room.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Man, that's just what a life, right? Like
That's America.
that's America. That's what we're closing in.
That's
here.
why we're closing down these borders. God damn it, boys.
No, that's what you find from like Chernobyl, dude. How many Siamese twins are over there? Why do they call them Siamese twins?
Oh yeah, do Siamese people from Siam have a lot of twins, or is it
Conjoined?
because they all look alike to us?
I don't know.
The freaks.
Oh my God. I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's just a good question.
What was the three-headed dog's name?
Cerberus,
Yeah, there you go.
the raccoon.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
Yes, Cerberus raccoon.
Oh yeah, there's multiple raccoons. One's named Mike Kozak. I'll have to name the other one Cerberus.
Dude, I like how you have Mike Kozak and Jordan the dog. He sends pictures. He's like, look at this guy.
What made Christy and Zach were hanging out the other night, and here comes the raccoon like wandering down the driveway, and Zach goes, "Oh, look at that fat raccoon." I was like, Mike Kozak? And he's like, "What?" I was like, "That's Mike Kozak." He's like,
Mikey! He tosses him a little fucking.
Here's a little joint. I know you can use a lighter.
I know you know what you're doing with that thing.
He grabs it, runs off, scampers off, into the
Scampers
woods.
off into the dark.
His favorite.
And then you just got a random dog just shows up, huh?
I know where she
Jordan
lives
the
now.
dog?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. She's a habitual escaper, but she doesn't go more than about 4 houses from her house.
Yeah, she's just a lazy bitch too.
She just makes yeah.
She did all the hard work getting over that fence.
Yeah. All right. Should we take a pee break? I'm gonna dip some quesadillas into this queso dip and look up conjoined twins on the internet.
Siamese. Siamese.
All right, we'll be back.
The worst way to be conjoined would be
At the butthole. Oh, actually, hang on. Have you guys seen Human Centipede?
No, sure. Like
That would be the worst way to be conjoined.
where one starts.
yeah.
These are
The other one
Siamese
finishes.
twins. They were born mouth to butt.
I mean, it's not good. It's not good on either end. You know, like you're gonna have a lot of guilt on one side, and on the other side, it's shit. You know, literally.
Seriously, queso dip again?
Yeah. I feel like though, if lips and booty hole were attached, doctors would separate you at birth.
Yeah, you're probably right.
To have
And
two
what
heads
if the
on-
intestine just went all the way down though?
down the lip into
Yeah,
the other one,
Yeah,
like
that's the
fucking
intestinal
venom.
tract. Yeah,
Yeah, it just takes over the other. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think a poop chute's gonna travel anywhere near a lip. You know what I mean? Intestines aren't gonna go that far.
Are you saying Human Centipede was not realistic?
It's super realistic. It could happen like through like
guess that
twins
way, yeah.
born and like they're mushed and like lips fused to asshole. You know what I mean? You could have someone just some weird. Dude, the world's weird.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that could definitely exist. But usually when you see conjoined people, they're sharing things such as mega structures, brains. You see those two girls that are attached like at the head.
No, I missed that one.
Oh, they both. Oh, God. This is bad. They both look like Brian from American Dad, that alien. And they're just kind of attached because they have a huge head being fused.
Oh my God.
But or hearts or organs. There was a great movie. I was trying to say it earlier. Matt Damon and
Oh yeah,
Stuck on Me or Stuck,
Stuck on You.
Stuck on
Stuck
You.
on You.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
That was funny.
Yeah, and
'Cause
they
it
work.
covered some of this.
Dude, the best part is they own that hamburger shop and being like conjoined twins. One was on the grill and the other's making the buns and the like getting the burger ready. And they'd
dialed.
flip positions and the other one would take over. Dude, great movie.
No.
Great movie.
But that is like usually those guys were sharing like vital organs. And when you have twins, it's what? Usually one cell
It splits.
that splits. Yeah, it's not two. hundred.
Hang on, sorry. So there's what do you have it? Identical and
Fraternal.
Fraternal. Yeah.
So one is I think one is oh boy.
Identical.
Identical it splits after fertilization, right?
I believe.
So would you say one is a clone then? I mean,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
technically,
you're right.
I'm not, I'm just
except,
saying.
neither one is the original. It's just a split.
The first one to get fertilized is
Yeah.
the original.
They're clones.
Whatever comes after
They're clones
is the
of
clone.
themselves. Yeah.
No, one's the original. The sperm goes into one egg and it fertilizes
Right, and
that
then it
egg.
splits
The other
50-50.
one splits. The split is the new growth then. If it splits,
If they're both half of the original, then they're both the
But
original.
I think it's
but not half, it's never
does
half.
it split or is it two eggs?
Well,
'cause
that's
there's
the
one
difference
egg.
between
when there's
fraternal
two-
and identical, I think.
Paternal is when there's
Fraternal.
two eggs.
How
Fraternal,
do you get
Yeah.
conjoined though?
a half split.
We are not doctors. This is all coming from what I think happened.
What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna
We should
make
probably
you an
move
op-
on before we make
no.
ourselves sound really fucking dumb.
It's not going to stop me.
Nah,
I'll
dude,
put
I'm-
that out there.
I'm gonna make you an omelet. I'll show you.
Oh my God.
This is how we split those eggs.
Holy shit, he's got his dick in his hand.
Do you think that's though, like, as weird as that is, that's a relationship you'll never had? Like, I've never had a brother or sister,
Stuck
but
to you?
I've always had friends that had brothers and sisters, and some of their relations
You had
were
like
good.
one dude you hung out with at the kickboxing gym. You guys would wear the same pair of underwear and pretend that you're conjoined.
No. You're not here.
All right, never mind.
When, like, I'm an only child, so I had friends that had brothers and sisters. Some of their relationships with their brothers and sisters were good, some were bad, but it always seemed they had a sense of closeness. And I thought that was cool to be around the same age or have someone that you're like super honest or close with. Could you imagine, like, we all say we have barriers, we have walls. When you have another person ahead, like 6 inches from yours, like the closeness or the bond or the understanding or like
Brush your fucking teeth.
yeah, the dragon breath that you get next to you waking up. That's crazy. I mean, that's a level of intimacy no one will know except for conjoined twins.
I mean, you're definitely in it together.
Yeah.
You go to does it make college easier? Or did they graduate and did they both get teaching certificates? Or did one of them get a teaching certificate? Is one
how many social security numbers?
I think
yeah, that's a good question.
How many passports? 1 or 2?
Well, I think they have
1.5.
Imagine showing up in like Saudi Arabia like that in a place where they fucking just kill people like that just to not have them in the gene pool going through customs there.
I mean, dude, Sparta or like Greece back in the day, it was famous for throwing if you had babies that were
Just
born
appeared weak.
Like let alone having like deformities or problems. Just they're like, shit, baby, throw them off the cliff, and that was normal. These girls are lucky to be, and now we're talking about them on a podcast.
Yeah.
These lucky vixens.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just the guy who married him.
Yeah, I have more questions about it.
Props.
He's
Nice.
good work, homie. Good work.
America.
Yeah, dude.
No, I mean, that is an interesting. I mean, that takes a person. Who is that person? I would like to know.
Yeah.
How many bodies are buried in his basement?
How long becomes like a series like Brendan Dassey on Making a Murderer? Yeah.
Jesus.
Does that count as 1 or 2 murders?
Yeah, just wild.
That's
a
double.
good-
That's
that's
a
a-
double
Is that
homicide.
a double homicide?
Double
or is that just one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad though. That's crazy. That would suck too, though, if you were conjoined and you got one of you had.
Whoa,
a
yeah. What if
boyfriend.
only one of you got murdered?
No,
He's got this dead fucking head hanging off your shoulder.
I'll make it. But if you have a fight with your boyfriend or girlfriend,
Hang
or
on.
significant
What happens
other,
if one
the
head?
other-
Because they obviously share vital organs. What if one gets brain damage?
Well, they each control a side, so one side would probably go limp.
What would the heart like? would their heart rate slow by half, or would like half the heart have a heart attack?
Depends. One of them's probably
Does
got
one lung,
the
like, fucking shut
autonomic
down?
nervous, and one's probably got the parietal.
Oh shit!
You know what
so
I mean?
If the one
So
with
if
the,
one controls one side, one's one.
which one's controlling the heart rate and stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that one takes a shot to the head, or like falls and. I mean, like a bonk.
Your sister's
trip.
like, we're joining the war. I enlisted. Where was I? The fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a bad one. But they were.
One's for Gaza, one's for Palestine.
That could be
That
true.
is real.
One's a trumper.
Oh yeah. What happens when they fight with each other?
One side's red.
Do you think they punch it? Do you think it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots where they're like punching at each other's chins?
Yeah, come on. Just headbutting each other. Come on. You know when they were kids, they had to have.
That's every child fights with
That's
their
what I mean.
sibling.
Yeah. It's just like you're fighting yourself.
Headbutting.
At least I can't get a good wind up.
Yeah.
know?
Seriously.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But you see all kinds of them, though. People that are attached at the hip, at the leg. They just share a body. They're a unique one where it's one body and 2 heads. I mean, they're great girls. But technically,
Sweet
that's
gals.
what
Well, they're-
monster
yeah, they're
movies
fucking-
are based off of. You know? Or things of peril like that. They live in a great time where it's like, dude, yeah, celebrate. Be you. At least you're thriving and married.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like they're literally like living a better life than a lot of fuckers.
Yeah, dude, and yeah.
I mean, if you start focusing on the positive stuff, it's like, yeah, you guys are kind of killing it.
What if that's evolution? It's like it's figuring out two heads on one body is actually better. They're like they're so fucking stupid as it is. If we team them up, they have a much better chance for success.
Dear Lord.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So total warfare.
Yeah, dude. How's Gaza doing? Golly, man. I just
Yeah, but isn't that weird? Okay, hang on. I'll tie it back. Isn't that weird? Because it's like, remember in the Peleliu book on Peleliu, like the square mileage of it was like, was it 2x3 or something?
Yeah,
it was
it
like
was
5 square miles, 6 square miles, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And that's what the world war is. The war with all these nations is so much happening in a concentrated area. Like, as much as it's all in the news and what's happening, and it drives
the battle
politics,
lines are not large.
the things that drive these forces are not a big area. And there's so much other shit going on, like this lady and her husband, or these ladies, excuse me, and their husband, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that everything gets put so much emphasis on the smallest of things, but it's also the smallest of areas, not smallest of things, smallest of areas, but the smallest of areas also have the most people die usually in them. Where these isolated conflicts happen is where you have the most death per
capita
area, square mile.
It's not just density of human, right? And it's like the older world's like super dense.
Or is it like this is a standing point, both representation of this side, like the French and the Germans, like in World War I, you know? Like, this is where we're standing. This is the line. Here's where the trenches start getting dug in, and now there's a no man's land.
Well, the crazy thing to me is like these are like, right? Are they not just like the same people?
Yeah,
like same
damn
gene
near.
pool. Like it's like,
all the
But
same
they consider themselves different. Like, then they trace it way back millennia, thousands of years.
I don't know.
But that's ideology.
This is also the evil side of religion, is that it causes tribalism, which I guess we would just find something else to be tribalist about or tribal about. But
yeah, I mean, I guess
that's literally what it boils down to. Is this tribe believed that this guy was the son of God? That tribe believed
I think
not
that's
so much.
I think that's
and now they're
the difference between their wars and our wars, and how it's hard for us to look at their wars and think they're. I mean, I think most people probably think a lot of wars are pointless, but when you look at something that's belief-based...
Dude, ours are so we can get iPhones for cheap.
And that's what I mean,
Yeah.
right? So then...
Totally legit.
But we look at that, and it's like, oh, they probably look at us and go, you guys are doing evil around the world because of what you're doing it for. But we're okay because we believe... and they're religious based, so those wars will never end. Yeah. Our wars will end.
The true believers are not beatable, and when you have true believers on both sides, you have a forever conflict.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting time when it's like you have an area of true believers and an area of not true believers, but they have extreme force and monetary and supplies and stuff, and like in Afghanistan or like.
Yeah, I think
Hannibal
Biden
with the elephants crossing into Afghanistan. It's like, at what cost do you go for, and when does it finally get called off?
It's the folly of every empire is they believe too much in their superiority of like equipment, and they think they can go gallivanting across the world, and they all apparently they all die in Afghanistan because the Greeks did it there under Alexander. I think didn't the French make it there with Napoleon?
Yeah. Yes, Napoleon
the
tried.
The British tried.
So devastating.
The Russians tried in the 80s, and now we tried for the last 20 years. And who's in charge right now? The fucking Taliban, who are the descendants of the Mujahideen, which were our proxies that we fought the Russians with. And it's like we didn't figure out that or I should say, where I'm going with all this is, again, recently, I think just in the last day or two, Biden said something again about people who support the Second Amendment or who are fervent supporters of the Second Amendment. You can't resist the government because we have F-15s. And it's like, motherfucker, look up Viet Cong and Taliban and Mujahideen, and you'll find a couple of great examples in the last 50 years of true believers who beat the most technologically sophisticated militaries on the planet.
Well, that's where the nuke comes into play. And it's like, well, the nuke's only used for offensive towards the country. What if it was used internally defensive? Do you think that weapon would ever be used?
No, I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
You never know how.
But yeah,
it
I could be.
goes.
But I could be wrong.
It seems there is a cap on weapon. I hate politicians talking on weapons because it's not authentic or like.
And if you think about how
all
long,
bullshit.
it's also ironic that, and this is I'm not presenting any new idea here, but just think about the number of firearms that surround any one of these politicians who's crying for gun control. And the reality is it's not even them. So now that we know the politicians are controlled by big money interests, what is it that the big money interests have at stake that they don't want the population armed? They don't give a fuck about public safety. The idea that any of the elected officials and or the big money sort of, big pharma, big whatever, big ag, big bank, whatever. The idea that any of those people care about public safety. I can't believe, nobody thinks about that. Does Nancy Pelosi care about public safety? Shut the fuck up. It's not about that. So why do they want firearms banned so badly? What is the real reason? That's what people need to be asking themselves, because I think you would find a lot more people supporting the Second Amendment if people actually had an honest conversation with themselves about what is the true reason that our politicians are pushing for a ban on firearms.
It's the same thing everyone feels post 2020. Like, why does it feel like my media is lying to me? Why does it feel
I wish
like
everybody fucking felt like that.
I think it's because the people who have power right now know that their grasp is slipping, and they are danger close to being.
Is it slipping, or this is how the game works?
No, I think it's slipping. And I think that social media sort of blew the lid. Exposure. Yes. They came up in an era of very controlled
Chalkboards.
Yeah, basically printed press and the evening news on CBS, right? Yeah. So it was very easy to control information that got out. And then now we have this wild west of information where everybody's got a smartphone in their pocket and can tweet whatever they want, and anybody can read it across the entire globe if they have a little pocket computer. No. And it has the level, and I don't think that they were just like we all use the exact same password for our bank account, for our email account, for our work log. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you all. Yeah, Jordan's like, not me. Just because we came up in an era where we're just not used to having to protect online things. It's not something that we're used to. And so they're used to doing business the old way, and now it's all being exposed because they didn't anticipate this sort of this high level of personal exposure via smartphone and internet.
Yeah.
And I think their grasp on power is slipping, and they know that if they lose that power, they may be held accountable, and I think they're terrified of that. And so that terror that they feel towards being exposed and being prosecuted is what's driving a lot of this authoritarian
But what about
tendency.
like the persecution of Fauci happening right now?
I hope he goes to prison.
Yeah. But
What do you mean
that
persecution? You mean prosecution?
Well,
no, he's not being prosecuted. He's just being questioned.
He's being prosecuted, but
no, he's
like,
not. There's no charges.
I mean, there's
they're just questioning
a
him.
hearing.
Yeah. And he's damning himself. He's his own
congressional hearing.
Yeah.
Yes, they're having a congressional hearing,
and he should be prosecuted.
Guys like Jim Jordan, dude. That's where I mean, like, they're persecuting him. Which, yes, he should be. He's telling what Fauci did. He's setting it up with the questions. I don't think correct.
Hang on, I'm googling the definition of persecution because I think you're using it. way off. They're not persecuting him. They're asking him questions
Yes.
about his role in all
They're
of this.
asking it, but they're using it in a good way. Like they're painting him. That's what a good lawyer is they're not acute. They can't blatantly say you did a murder.
Oh, yeah.
But they're leading it towards that way. They're nefarious in their intent. They're not
to
trying
pursue with harassing or
Yes.
oppressive treatment. Harass or afflict with
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Eh.
Don't get Mike started on the English language. You kidding me?
Shit.
Yeah.
Is there a
This
cursive
story,
is there a
this is
cursive dictionary?
story time with Cousin. But what they're doing is they're trying to hold them accountable for what they did. And there's certain senators that and politicians that believe how Fauci handled it. And you look at the past, RFK, the AIDS epidemic and his role in it. And it's nice having a little bit of oversight and looked into. Right?
Well, so
And
hang on. Do we
bringing
have
it to
oversight because
attention.
we have all these hearings and nothing ever comes out of these hearings?
Nothing
so
good ever.
I say he should be prosecuted.
But this is
but I have a feeling he will not be.
This is a huge thing, though.
It is, but nothing.
2020
These
is the
people,
biggest thing that's
these
ever
people are
happened to
never held
America
accountable.
since
Mike,
Civil War.
these people do this shit day in, day out, and nobody. We have all these hearings. We have hearing after hearing after hearing, with all kinds of whistleblowers testifying about all the corruption in the government, and we have the people who are corrupt themselves testifying and sort of like outing themselves, and nothing ever happens.
It doesn't happen.
No one is ever held accountable.
Do you think that's a huge problem for Trump
It's a
because
fucking
he
massive
kept
problem.
supporting Fauci? In retrospect, now
I
as
don't.
a
I don't
re-election,
think. I used
he
to
had-
think that Trump was a true outsider, but I'm not so sure he is anymore. Yeah,
Do,
I
do you
suspect
think being involved with the system instantly corrupts you?
yes.
Yeah.
I think that I bet he was a true outsider for his first term, but in order to run a second time as the Republican nominee, he probably had to play ball. That's my guess.
I mean,
I don't have any evidence.
He's still in court. Do you think if he was
But
like, I'll
he's
play
also
ball, they would have removed all those state convictions?
I think they would have just
I think
removed
that's him
from
playing ball. Is this?
Yeah,
Everything that happens is staged.
yeah.
What do you guys think about this Biden son getting?
That's another one where it's like, oh, they
Gun charges.
of all the things they could have convicted a Biden on, they picked like they literally picked the smallest charge. It's like just throw a little candy out to the masses so they'll be happy.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We got to get these guns out of Hunter's hands.
We're not going to worry about 10% for the big guy or whatever it was. We'll just go ahead and convict him on some low level gun charges. He'll wear an ankle bracelet for 2 years. No big deal.
I hear you can store your cocaine in there. That's a good spot. Never check the ankle bracelet.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the drive home, and just like, at what point when they have something like this, it was a jury that convicted him, so it's the people want to see fucking this guy pay.
Well, they select their jurors too. Like the
Regardless,
lawyers get to go through and
I'm
do
guessing
jury
of course.
selection.
I think the
And
outcome
yeah,
of that
but-
trial was
but
known
in New
before
York, they
it started.
changed all. Yeah,
but
yeah,
but
of course.
the prosecuting attorney and the defending attorneys all get a fucking select, right?
Yeah.
So it's the prosecuting attorneys that get a select first, and then the defending get to
Yeah.
re-examine or whatever and fucking pull these certain ones out, and then they say, "Oh, this is bias," but you know. But when I believe, don't quote me on that. He's
Now
texting.
both. Oh well, no. What I was going to say is both the prosecution and the defense are part of the same organization,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
which is.
but then the people aren't, right? At some point, the people aren't.
Well, what I'm saying the 12 jurors are selected by
They're
lawyers who play for the same organization. The what do you call it?
They don't
The
have
bar, which stands for British.
Oh shit!
Weird.
The crown, the gold crown bar.
Yeah, the B is for British.
Oh Jesus! What's
no,
the
sorry,
ARs?
it's barristers. I can't remember what it
Do
is,
you
but I
think-
think it's actually a British. Hang on, now I got to Google.
Okay. Well, anyway,
That
these
makes
sons
sense.
of bitches. What do you think should happen to them? Should he get slapped on the wrist or should he go to fucking prison?
Who,
24
Biden?
months.
What did he? I like the way he said 24 months with your eyes. What did? So he bought a gun while he was on crack. I mean, that's SOP for a crackhead,
or
is
he,
it not?
I think it was like he was possessing a gun at the same time as marijuana. Which
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
look around this garage.
What do you mean?
apparently, yeah, what? Theoretically,
Yeah.
What if there was?
You know what? Never mind.
And we-
Let him off, dude. Guy's fine.
He's a good guy, I've heard. Married his brother's wife.
Yeah, but I guess
Solid dude. Good old Hunter. He's a good painter.
Hunter? Good Lord. Speaking of like the easiest way to launder money.
Painting, yeah.
Yeah.
High end art.
Yeah. Hey, just go ahead and buy a painting from my son and we'll set you up.
Ah, that's actually a good idea.
Right?
it's genius.
That's actually he's a little slow, but he's a hell of a painter. He loves the booger sugar and the ladies of the night. Dude, Hunter. He's probably a shit son, but he was probably a cool buddy to have in like college. You know? Your dad is like a super famous rich senator. Well, kind of not really rich that whole time, but that's a good buddy.
Your
to
mom
have.
was your fucking babysitter? Isn't that what happened to you? Didn't Joe Biden meet Joe Biden when she was 15 and he was like 30 something?
He sniffing hair back in the 70s.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, that's nice. Was that Pantene?
It's hair and mane, baby.
Was that VO5?
Tail and mane.
That is clean. Oh, shit. Didn't his first wife die? Or am I thinking of someone else? Did Joe Biden have another? Yeah.
Under mysterious circumstances?
Yeah, I can't find the fucking thing.
I don't know. or am I thinking of another president? Because Joe Biden's his second wife. What happened to his first one?
He divorced her for the babysitter, which was Joe Biden when she
Yeah.
was 15.
Oh, they got divorced, though?
I have no clue.
There's also
Who died?
well, hang on.
making shit
The
up.
other thing that's being ignored is that the Ashley Biden diary has basically been confirmed as true, which means that he was.
What is that?
It's her talking about being sexually abused by her father,
Who's Ashley Biden?
who's the president
Biden.
of the United States. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that brings to light.
Yeah, CNN doesn't seem to want to bring that. Fox News doesn't want to bring that one up. Weird.
Who'd they give? Who was the reporter that originally had it?
I know who you're
Is it
talking about.
Glenn?
No, it was a female on the, or no, that's the Epstein. Never mind. Yeah, dude, it's just there's so many of these scandals that we all know are taking place and we all know are true.
And it's crazy because they sent
and
them all to the New York Times and
no
stuff.
one is held accountable.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to care, and it's because everybody's fat and happy on Netflix and fucking Grubhub. Circus and cake. And until things collapse around here a little bit, I think we're just going to have to get used to it and it's frustrating as shit to watch. Like, as someone who isn't in the rabbit hole of online entertainment and can kind of I spend a fair amount of time just sort of observing what's going on. And it is frustrating as shit because it is so obvious how corrupt and it's like a giant succubus on the backs of the middle class. And I feel like, so now here I am going to work day in and day out and realizing it doesn't have to be this way. It could be so easily stopped, and it's so obvious that it's happening.
But isn't
most people are just so lost in this world of, binge TV series and eat shit food and just sort of head in the sand staring at you know what I mean?
But isn't that the
frustrating
inflation
as fuck.
of bureaucracy? Like the massing together of bullshit things that don't need a job instead of letting the society work and grow and feed off of that. Like Rome fell. Societies fell, and the ones that always fall are huge because they get inflated. There's rules, regulations. Not saying that rules and regulations are important, but I'm saying the congestion of the bloat of a society, the government.
You're saying the government is
bigger.
representative of the bloat of the.
Yes.
Yeah, that you might be right because the like you said, the number one employer in the United States is the United States government. And that is way out of balance when you think about the role of producers versus takers. You know what I mean? Like people who produce something of value that injects value into the system versus people. The government doesn't produce anything anybody wants at this point. Very little. And so they're not injecting value into the system. They're just removing it. They're extracting. You and I put value, the three of us, we all put value into the system. All the working people around you put value into the system.
Yeah.
And then you have this other group of people who they're like miners, and they just extract the value out of the system for themselves. And it's frustrating as fuck. Imagine if you could keep your value. Imagine if Jordan could have Jordan's value and Mike could have Mike's value and I could have Tobin's value and just have it, or at least be fairly compensated for it, not have to give away, I think, over half of it.
Way over half.
Yeah. I think it's 60 to 70% of my value I don't actually get to actualize or realize.
You get taxed in a lot of different ways.
You get taxed in all the ways. Are you
It's
kidding me?
it's easier to think about it in dollars because it's kind of like dollars come and dollars go. When you think of it as your value that you create, like you fucking created it.
When you think of it,
It's your creation.
in time.
Yes. And and
Whether the value is there or not, you're giving your life.
your time and energy, which is all you have.
Fuck.
Yeah.
If that
All we
doesn't
have is
really
time and
fuck with
energy,
me,
and you give it all, and over half of it is then taken back.
Yeah, but value is what's right, because those people that are part of the bloat of the bureaucracy, they're sacrificing what they see as their time, right? And some of your time, if it's efficiently used and you're mitigating problems,
I think
or
they
you're
are
making
doing it
things
because
better,
they
it's
don't know
good,
how to
but there's-
create. I think
there's
that
also
people,
too much. It's
Too
just
much what?
overinflated.
What is?
The bureaucracy
Oh,
of the
yes.
government,
Yes.
the thickness of how the system works.
Yes.
That's where libertarians, I think, have it a little bit right, where it's like it's more of a skeleton system that we contract things out
Yeah.
through.
Yes.
But it's not skeleton. It is my 1,000-pound sister life, but it's thick. It's involved in every aspect of your life. Whether it's health, we got a health board. Whether it's building, we got a building code.
We
We got structural engineering.
yeah.
We got safety here. We
Yeah.
got this there.
Seismic engineering,
Everything.
eco engineering.
And what it is, it's good. You should have those things, but probably at a fraction of the size.
And not with the authority to shut down creation, because they also that's the other bad thing they do is they don't even they don't.
well, they
even
do it
understand.
with such a smug
Yeah.
fucking attitude.
Yeah.
Like, I can fucking
This is
turn
you
this
can't-
whole thing down.
you can't be using this diesel tractor out here on this farm. It's an ecological hazard. We've literally had that at my parents' farm, where they wanted to inspect the tractor to make sure there wasn't any oil or hydraulic fluid on it.
Oh.
It's a fucking tractor, guy. Yeah.
Did you watch Kill Tony?
Yeah, guy.
No.
Hey,
Okay,
guy.
my guy.
My guy. Hey, guy. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's never, when someone usually dies, it's very rare. It's just the heart attack, and that's the only thing. It's usually there's symptoms of an illness. You have high blood pressure, your fucking digestion system's off, you're eating shit foods, your vitamins are off. Like, these things happen, and then what else happens? Organs start to fail. And it's not usually just the heart. It's like your blood's not getting purified the way it should be. Your oxygen absorption isn't doing as well as it should be, so your brain's not working, and then those organs that are already doing shitty, now you start getting diseases, diabetes, problems like that. Most people die of a compound of things. And if you look at the fall of societies, it's never like this one moment, like the asteroid hit and it all stopped. Societies throughout history have always ended with indicators.
Yeah.
And what makes me worried
We have a whole
is
lot of them.
what we're saying all this is there's so many indicators that you're seeing problems with your government. I think back in the day, people looked up to the government because they maybe helped out in certain ways or they provided. Like Jesus Christ, if someone's like, you go west and you can get a claim and you own this land, I mean, they're sending you out there to die by the Indians and try and clear them out, but it was your chance.
I wonder if that was like an attempt at biowarfare. Like, hey, we'll tell all these people they can have free land, and in exchange, they'll take smallpox west.
They were already inoculated, I think, for them. I mean, yes, you'll still get new things, but Spanish landed in like
Yeah, you're right.
1500s,
Smallpox had already.
Yeah. So it had been through there and took out the most of them. But I think they sent us out. But so the last ones that were there were super pissed and the strongest of strong. And so, like, I think the government sent people out to state claims to move west, and they got fucked up a lot by the Indians.
Yeah.
Like a lot if you read them. But it was your chance at owning land.
Yeah.
And then you got immigrants coming over
That's
we
another
reached the far west.
Here's another political point that pops into my head from time to time is how white people are being demonized right now and called colonizers and this and that and whatnot. And it's interesting to me to like, these people obviously don't understand history, which duh, but think about the idea that life in like
Whites were pretty good though.
What?
We were good colonizers. I said the whites were pretty good.
At what?
Colonizing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
give credit where
so
credit was
were
due.
the Persians,
the whites,
and so were the Mongols.
But the whites,
and,
we got a good fight in here.
Yeah.
We all do. All colors do. But the whites.
Well, hang on.
we did good.
Think about how bad life had to be for people in Western Europe that they were willing to get on a
living in
fucking
squalor.
wooden ship, possibly die of scurvy or just literally sinking or a storm at sea, or all the ways you. What
But
was
that was to
the-
escape imperialism.
I know.
Yeah.
To get to a land that was nothing but wilderness.
Yeah.
And know that you were literally going to get off the boat and walk into the wilderness.
And go, I'm
And
camping for the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly. How bad did things have to be for you to be like, yeah, let's do that?
But that's what
because we can't get Americans to get off their ass for anything.
But that's what escaping imperialism is.
Yes,
The
I know,
people-
and we're headed
Yes.
back towards imperialism right now.
So the idea that, I mean, and that's what the idea of the United States was that freedom, that I guess it is like the first collective, like
You
we
can keep
contribute
all your
to the
value,
society.
whatever value you put in, you can extract
But
out.
like a basic tax where it's like, hey man, this area, I
Fuck
want
your basic
everyone
tax.
to have everything that I have the ability. No, if there's a flat tax of 5%, fucking great.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
fire
you're right.
departments.
You're right.
We need defense. We need things.
Yeah.
But when you get that bloat and that mismanagement of money and spending it on frivolous things, it goes higher and higher and
Yeah.
higher and higher.
New regulatory fee,
What do you think?
new gas tax,
What do you think
new
we
vehicle
could
mileage tax,
survive
new-
on a straight, basic?
If you and I
tax?
got to keep all of our money, we could work.
No.
We could work 20 hours a week.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what do you think that tax would be fair?
I think it depends on what your level of sophistication. Yes, Europe is heavily overtaxed, but you do look at their medical system and it's like, dude, everything's free.
Yeah,
You
but
look- you're
I don't
broken
think it's
and you
also
need-
considered good.
No,
It's
it's,
not-
not, the
it's
best.
not free.
That's
Yeah.
socialized
Yeah,
medicine
well, yeah.
in a way. But
Hey, it's free garbage.
It's not free when
Sweet.
you fucking pay for it.
do you want to have your arm reset?
If you're
and-
being taxed,
you-
it isn't free.
do you want to have your arm reset and put in a cast or charge tons of money?
when
You are charged tons of money when you're taxed. Some of the like Sweden has like 80% tax.
80%.
Yeah,
But
that's being charged a lot of money, Mike.
but so my coworker's family is from Sweden.
fucking
right?
go back.
No, it's an interesting thing because they do make good money. They're dual citizens.
Why?
His dad worked in automotive over in Sweden,
Yeah.
and he came over here. And
Why did he come over here? Is my question. If it's so great over there,
It was, but a company wanted him over here.
Interesting.
And so they brought him over here, and then he worked in the automotive industry, and so did his son.
There goes my
But-
gotcha moment.
When did
But-
he move back?
What?
When did he move back?
The dad?
Yeah.
I think they're dual back and forth. They go 6 months. They spend summer in here, and then winter's back there. They like it here.
They like the cold ass
Yeah,
winter.
but they're like everything's. What also, Sweden pays them 6 weeks salary of whatever they make. That money they give them that, and it's called holiday pay. And they tell you to go
And then
on
they tax you
vacation.
80% of it.
Yeah, but you're still getting. They make good money.
God damn it. They don't give them 6 weeks of holiday pay.
They tax them 80%.
And
No, they do.
and then say, hey,
but-
you know what?
so
we covered you for 6 weeks.
If you make good money and you have the ability to keep growing, like that's why he paired over here.
Well,
He's
hang on.
growing
I'm
his
just
business.
trying to
He
think.
gets medical.
Dude,
he gets paid.
guess what? He's also working free for
Yeah,
36 weeks.
So he's coming over here to make money, is
for
what I'm
fucking
hearing.
for 42 weeks or something like that. He works for free.
Perhaps.
Unless,
Yeah.
Well, unless the reason he's working in the United States is to shelter some of his fucking money from his 80% Swedish tax.
Could be. But if
That-
you're
that might-
happy.
Because if you're getting taxed 80%, you're not keeping shit.
No, don't get me wrong.
You're not
America's
making
where industry
in order to have a
is.
good income at an 80% tax, you'd have to be making like $1 million a year.
But America isn't great enough where he's like, I'll just move here. There's something about that's
That's
keeping him there.
sweet. Never mind.
That fucking ISIS member over in
It's the
Sweden.
pancakes.
The crepes. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. Yeah.
He can't give him up.
Yeah.
Guy can't give him up.
So good.
Yeah. So buttery soft.
It's a little strawberry jam.
Talk about an export.
I don't know, but I think you could get by on less taxes if there was less.
All of the
See, but I
libertarian,
do
the
think
serious
that-
libertarians, all say 10 or 11%, and that would be completely acceptable.
But I do.
If you're getting roads and fire departments, and here's the other thing,
I think
I want the
medicine's
potholes
part of
fixed,
that.
and I want
I think everyone has a right for if your house catches
I
on
guess
fire and
I
someone
could- I
puts your
could
fire out,
see-
if someone comes and shoots you, you should get patched up, and we're not charging.
I could see socializing the
Yeah,
hospital
there should be
itself,
basic
but
medicine.
the doctors should be.
You should still
It should
have
be a free market for the
yeah.
because that's what inspires
But there
innovation and
Yes.
education and
Yeah,
just sort of that
absolutely.
like you want the best people doing these things, so you have to give them an incentive.
But you should
and if
still
you socialize it completely,
Yeah.
then they don't have an incentive.
No, but you should still have for your. I'm
The,
saying
the other
for your
problem then is that
citizen.
when you socialize things, they turn into shitholes
True.
because nobody cares.
I'm just saying for your citizen, if you're a great society, if we're hunting and one of you got hurt and I just said figure it out, you'd be like, Mike's an asshole. My group, my society is an asshole. No. You should be able to get it patched up, helped out,
No,
Hang on.
fixed.
Socialism works at extremely small levels, like
I go-
family and
I
friend
go,
group levels.
I think I maybe,
it doesn't work at bigger
maybe
levels.
should find a better hunting partner.
Yeah.
But I'm free to go find that hunting partner.
Hmm.
Not go, this is the hunting partner I
Hey,
have
Mike, you want to
forever.
go again next year?
You know what I mean? At that point, you go, oh, but I mean,
But you
when
want
you're
someone there.
forced to,
You should have a bandage put on it. I think
okay, or maybe fucking rely on yourself a little bit and patch yourself up. Find some people that'll patch you up.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of fucking common sense and go, don't get in these fucking silly situations.
that's what I mean. Shouldn't those people that patch you up be your country? If you're a citizen,
they should be. I think if you were to say,
Shouldn't you get a broken arm?
well, okay, then say,
You
then they should do this. Your town, you pay you go into a contract with the fucking people
With the
that,
hospital.
that go into the contract with the fucking fire department, and you go, hey, I have
now
this.
you're creating insurance
subs-
agencies instead of
I have
having a base
no.
level provided.
I have a subscription to the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
We have a contract. We have entered into a contract, and I will fund your fire department with my money.
That's what
Here's
levies
this.
are. That's what levies are. Is you're saying, hey, we want to,
But I'm
we need a new fire engine. Do you approve this? It's a short term tax that accomplishes a goal and then it goes away. this unending tax that like, hey, we added 3% in gas tax, or we added a new vehicle mileage tax. Again, those don't go away. Those just, it's like, hey, this might,
Those
or
get
the what was
brushed
the,
under the
the
fucking
long
rug.
the long term care tax that Washington State just added. That's like takes straight off payroll, and it literally says, if you read the fine print, it goes into the state general fund, which is a slush fund for God knows who all has their fingers in that
Which is
cookie
where
jar.
your fucking hunting tags go, where all the shit goes into that general fucking fund, and then you can never find out where it actually fucking ends up. Fuck that motherfucking inside. Yeah, I just can't. I can't get behind having more and more and more taxes. There's no fucking
I think
way,
it
and
should
I think
be way reduced. I'm just saying the comparison of paying 5% to maybe 10%.
Yeah, I would
What
be
does
fine
that
with a
mean
10%
you get?
flat tax, but I expect that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If I got to stand in
tax.
line at the DMV, I'm going to be fucking pissed. And I want the roads, I want all the potholes fixed.
DMV.
And I don't want,
fuck am I going to the DMV when I
no
pay a
shit.
flat fucking tax?
Actually, that's a solid point. I'm done. Yeah, why do I need a fucking driver's license? I don't renew my license tabs. I didn't
Well,
renew my
license.
concealed carry permit. Why do I need permissions to do all these things when
Not
I'm
permission,
supposedly
we're
a
just
free?
trying
Yeah. Oh
to-
no. A license is permission. That's a permission slip. That driver's license is a permission slip.
Yeah, but if your
but
body's
nothing,
found
motherfucker.
dead, it's nice to say,
an
hey,
identification.
this was this guy. Yeah,
But
ID.
I
I'm
could
just
carry.
saying ID.
What if I?
You know
What
what?
if ID was
I
voluntary?
want my cops to be able to do a little bit more
I think that
fucking
kinda-
detective work. Fucking. Why don't you?
Where's John Wick when
No
we need him?
shit, dude.
Yeah,
He was found with a 2-headed woman. One head was dead.
Yeah.
that's how he got killed. He got distracted. If you boys know what I mean.
Anyway.
Gaza.
No, dude. This fucking tax, dude. I'm
And
all
how
worked
how
up.
many people forget that the governor, the attorney general, the president, they're our employees.
Remember when that cocksucker took a raise in the middle of COVID and was like, I couldn't help that.
Yeah.
I worked through a pandemic. What do you expect, man?
Rat.
Yeah. Fuck.
Anyway, fuck the crown. Fuck your tax. Let's fucking end it like that.